You're born into a world that hates you. You don't even have to open your eyes to know that you're in the Ice Age. You're a Neanderthal, and being a Neanderthal sucks. You crawl to the icy reflection of a frozen pond, and there it is, your enormous nose. You look like you can smell mammoth farts from a mile away, and you can. Oh well, you're not here to win beauty pageants anyway. You're here to survive. Thankfully, it's not just for show. It's your personal heating unit. The frigid and unforgiving air you breathe in has to pass through this magnificent schnozzle, where it gets warmed and moistened before it can chill your lungs. It feels and weighs as much as a portable radiator, but it's in the middle of your face. Hey, don't look so disappointed. Oh wait, you can't help it, can you? Unless you find someone who's into the brooding type, that brow of yours certainly won't be doing you any favors when you grow up, but they shield your eyes and brain from winds that cut deeper than the jokes about your nose. But there's more to life than looks. The world you're born into doesn't give second chances, and being a function over form type of guy can help you power through it. At the end of the day, would you rather be a living mongrel or a handsome corpse? Thought so. Welcome to being a Neanderthal. Home is a cozy cave tucked into the hillside. Weekend getaways were a sheltered spot near a cave or under a rock overhang, where the wind doesn't slap as hard. Wherever you stayed, your people made it homey with wood, stone, and animal hides. Sure, these shelters weren't 5 stars on Airbnb, but they kept the elements at bay. Growing up, you felt like you were a group project. If mom was busy grinding seeds, your Annie would step in to help watch you. And if your Annie had to go sharpen a flint, grandpa would take his turn. Even the older kids helped, mostly because they knew what happened to little Neanderthals that wandered off. I guess it really does take a village. But look at those chompers. Your quickly growing teeth tough enough to force a dentist into retirement. They're not just for chewing, oh no, they're part of the toolbox. Need to hold hide in place while scraping it? Pop it in your mouth. Need to grab a tool? Your mouth's got you. The ancestral calling to this mouth as a tool is even so powerful that modern humans today are using it for their badminton training. By the time you turn into a man, you could bench a 500-pound boulder without breaking a sweat. Sisyphus would be proud. Now that you're old enough to hunt, the first order of business is to make yourself a spear. So you grab a sturdy piece of wood and a sharp pointy tip, topped with a finely crafted stone, pointed for extra lethality, the perfect weapon for a fearless fighter like yourself. Hunting was where you really shined. Forget chasing animals across vast open plains. That was for Homo sapiens with their long legs and marathon dreams. You were a woodland ninja. With your short bursts of speed and a knack for surprise attacks, you'd burst from behind cover and go in for the kill. 100 meters or less, you were unstoppable. Anything more than that, let's just say your giant nose would be putting in overtime trying to catch up on oxygen. You weren't the kind of hunter who liked to stand back, squinting and toss spears like darts at the carnival game. No, you liked to get up close and personal. But was this up-close combat a personal choice? Sure. Was it also because your spear throwing range wasn't exactly Olympic level? Yeah. Standing under 5.5 feet, you aren't exactly towering, but you're one hefty boy. Unlike others who claim to be big-boned, you actually are. Your bones is twice as dense as those of early humans. You were built to take punishment, whether it was hauling firewood, climbing rocky cliffs, or getting into a scuffle with a cave bear over who gets the deed to the cave. That density also keeps you warm. Your tightly packed frame and thick bones act like an all-natural thermos. With a body like yours, who needs Patagonia? With your heat-conserving build, your muscles, your lightning-fast sprints, fueling your body was no small task. You needed 5,000 calories a day. That's 10 Big Macs. And sadly, there's no McDonald's waiting for you. Instead, your diet was a high-protein, high-fat, all-meat extravaganza.
And look at me, folks. I'm thick and strong.
Reindeers, woolly mammoths, woolly rhinoceros, and wild sheep are some of your favorites. These animals were walking buffets of calories, and you need every ounce of fat and protein to keep your powerhouse of a body running. When you scored big, you and your tribe feasted like kings, gnawing on
bone marrow
and slurping fat like meth-infused Mountain Dew. And when food was scarce, you ate measly roots and berries, trying not to overthink how much you missed those mammoth steaks. You don't mind eating raw meat, but you know you could do so much better. So when a crackling ball of lightning started a forest blaze just outside your cave, you saw it as a fiery gift from the heavens. You watched the flames devour the trees, the heat warming your thickened skin face, while the smell of scorched wood filled your oversized nose. Where others might see chaos, you saw potential. Over time, you learned to tame that wild force. You carried embers back to your camp, cradling them like tiny, fiery babies, and kept them alive for days. Eventually, you became a fire starter yourself, striking flintstones together or furiously rubbing sticks like a prehistoric Boy Scout earning his badge in survival. With fire under your control, life sucked a lot less. Meals were finally cooked, the cold nights weren't as bone-chilling, and predators thought twice before sneaking into a glowing, smoke-filled camp. Fire was your Swiss Army knife, a multi-tool of warmth, protection, and on occasion, entertainment. Word of the fire was spreading like wildfire, and those weird Homo sapiens started to show up. You heard they came from Africa, but all you knew is that they looked like an overstretched Armstrong version of you. But whatever, you do your thing, they do theirs. You shared hunting grounds, rivers, and even caves, but living this closely with a different species isn't exactly a recipe for peace. They were smart and cunning, but when push came to shove, you bet you got them good. The fights were brutal, but they weren't regular. Survival was hard enough without unnecessary squabbles. Homo sapiens brought their new fancy tools and complex social structures to the world. But you're no slouch either. You have a creative side you're meaning to explore. You started to dabble in pigments like ochre. When inspiration struck, you smudged it into the walls of the caves. Simple carvings, handprints, and etchings were your way of blowing off steam after a rough day of hunting. Then you started smearing it on your face, body, and tools. Something about it just made you feel cool. And with all the animal kills under your belt, you had started to make a statement piece. Necklaces strung with animal teeth, shells, and shiny stones told the world that you're not just a hunter, you are the hunter. And as soon as you figured out that a bare bone with holes could sing, there was no stopping the groove. Your flute took center stage at rituals, birthdays, and at quiet evenings by the fire. What can you not do? Now that you're a prehistoric polymath, your popularity is through the cave roof. Suddenly, brooding is the new sexy, so why not pull one of the ladies for a chat? Just remember, the Neanderthal dating game isn't about whispering sweet nothings. Strength, hunting prowess, and the ability to contribute to the group are your love languages. Want to impress Eep Crude? Show off by hauling an elk back to camp without breaking a sweat. Great, you found a nice girl to mate with. Now there's only the matter of privacy. In such a close group, your romantic moments with your partner will anything but private. Not to worry, this setup isn't as weird as it sounds. It fosters trust, loyalty, and unity amongst yourselves. Okay, maybe it is a little weird. Time to date outside the tribe. How about the cute Homo sapien girls next door? You got down with Homo sapiens so much that their future generations would inherit as much as 2% of your DNA 40,000 years after your kind went extinct. You had to do something to shape the future of the human race, for both good and bad. You brought along quirks like susceptibility to allergies, diabetes, smoking addiction, and even that pesky receding hairline. Oops. Fortunately, you won't live long enough to feel the wrath, and at the end of it, you were buried in a special spot inside the cave under your first mural. And so you should subscribe, because the Neanderthals would have appreciated it.